Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This week's episode is packed with highs and lows, cheers and tears. Now buckle up as we dive into the latest action-packed F1 race. Ferrari and Charles Leclerc are making headlines again. Despite my mid-season review predicting otherwise, Leclerc has just delivered a stunning win at Monza. This marks his second victory at this iconic track, and you can see how much it means to him and the team. McLaren's dominance was evident as they locked out the front row, but they couldn't convert this into a 1-2 finish. McLaren's teamwork, or rather the lack of it, has raised some serious questions about this weekend. Without a clear number 1 and 2 driver, the team seems to be struggling with strategy calls, and it's starting to cost them. Despite locking out the front row in qualifying, they couldn't convert it into a 2-1 finish, leaving fans and pundits scratching their heads. The absence of a defined team leader could be McLaren's undoing. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are both incredibly fast, but when they're fighting each other, instead of focusing on the bigger picture, it creates chaos. Without clear team orders, McLaren runs the risk of throwing away crucial points and possibly even the title. McLaren's approach of letting both drivers race freely might be exciting to watch, but it's starting to show its downsides. Without a clear number 1 driver, the team is lacking the focus needed to win a Constructors' Championship. Both drivers want to be at the front, but if McLaren doesn't establish a hierarchy soon, they could find themselves losing out on everything, from podiums to potential championships themselves. Carlos Sainz managed a solid 4th place, with Lewis Hamilton following in 5th. The Red Bulls, on the other hand, faced a challenging race and struggled further down the grid. But going back for a second, it's a fantastic day for Ferrari fans and a testament to Leclerc's skill and determination. His win, combined with the recent Ferrari upgrades, is shaking up the competition and the standings, and might have Hamilton and Mercedes looking over their shoulders. McLaren's strategy didn't quite hit the mark this time, with P2 and P3. They're gaining valuable points, but this overall strategy and driver lineup may cause some concerns. It seems they're still searching for that winning formula. Red Bull is experiencing a rough patch, the performance continues to drop, and while they're hopeful for an improvement in Baku, the current situation might lead to a shake-up in the driver lineup. Let's take a moment to talk about Alex Albon. Despite not always having the fastest car, Albon's racecraft and determination have been key in helping Williams climb up the grid. Week after week, he's out there giving 110%, showing why he's a vital part of the Williams team. Keep watching. Alex Albon is on the rise, and his performance are only getting stronger. Now let's talk about Franco Colapinto, the young driver who's starting to make waves. While he didn't score any points this weekend, his performance was definitely one to watch. Starting 17th and climbing up to 12th shows he's got the pace and the potential to grow into a real contender. Let's talk about Haas and their eventful weekend. Kevin Magnussen managed to score a point, but it wasn't without drama. His aggressive driving style was fully on display, barging his way through the pack. Unfortunately, that same approach came back to bite him later in the race with a penalty that's resulted in a ban for him in the next round. All eyes now turn onto Ollie Bearman, who will step into the Haas seat for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This is a massive opportunity for the young driver to showcase his talent on one of the trickiest circuits on the calendar. I'd now like to take a moment to share some of my thoughts and feedback from the aftermath of this race. On the McLaren front, Lando Norris seems to be on a tight spot with the team dynamics and strategic decisions. His desire to win on his own terms might impact his relationship with Oscar Piastri and the team's overall strategy. Red Bull's struggles are becoming more apparent, and Christian Horner and the team are under pressure, but Perez's willingness to support Verstappen shows a strong team spirit, even if the results aren't coming through as hoped. Ferrari's performance is turning heads, Leclerc's wins keep them in the constructors' race, and their recent upgrades seem to be hitting the right notes. Despite George's early contact, Mercedes had a decent showing, but there's room for improvement. With only 8 races left, they need to capitalise on every opportunity to close the gap to the leaders. Kimi Antonelli's practice 1 session didn't go exactly as planned, a young talent struggling to find his rhythm. It wasn't an ideal start he was hoping for, especially as he looks to make an impression. Although his practice times didn't reflect his true potential, there's plenty promise for the rising star. And as we approach the end of the season, the race for the championship and the Fantasy League title is heating up. Verstappen remains in commanding position, but Leclerc is pushing hard. The next race could be pivotal. Now let's take a moment to review the worst kept secret in sporting history as we build up to Baku. Adrian Newey to Aston Martin for $30 million a year for 5 years. He's chosen Aston over Ferrari and Alonso over Hamilton. We'll have to see how the partnership works out. The legendary engineer is often regarded as one of the most influential figures in modern motorsports. With a career spanning multiple decades, Newey has designed champion-winning cars for teams like Williams, McLaren, and most notably Red Bull Racing. His ability to push the boundaries of car design, particularly in the field of aerodynamics, has made him a cornerstone of the Red Bull dominance in Formula 1. Whether it's pioneering innovative concepts or fine-tuning a race car to perfection, Newey's work continues to set the standards for engineering excellence in F1. His genius has shaped the success of every team he's worked with, making him an irreplaceable figure in the sport's history. Now time will tell, will Aston Martin's gamble pay off? Okay, now I can stop talking in that weird voice. I'm doing it still. Oh god, I can't stop. No, but seriously, let's take a look at Ollie's team. Really good points for the haul. Even though he used a limitless chip, probably not on a sprint weekend, which I think he didn't mean to. Still a really good result. Looking on to Jess's team, really strong considering. Shame about the deductions. If she didn't have that, it'd be a phenomenal team. But having Leclerc and the Ferrari combo, really strong. Moving on to the third best team of the week, Leo's. Again, that Ferrari, and with Oscar being on a ×2, really strong. The Williams paid off there as well, as good to see. So I tried my inactive trick, but I swung the wrong way. I batted for the Mercedes, should have batted Ferrari, should learn from my mistake. Just pointing out this big combo, you know, anyone who had that was just guaranteed to have a saucy team. Another point out of McLaren, as I did in my previous videos, the pit stops, second and third there, big points. And I think the two most valuable people from this, if you could have times two Leclerc, even better, but Franco was really good as well. So let's just take a look at the lead quickly. You can tell I've still got quite a healthy lead, but 8 races to go. I better watch my heels. Mum's very solidly in second, but the fight for third still rapidly taking place, with Leo over 100 points away from Dad. But I know that possibly Lawrence, Jess and Ben, some key chips to play, so the fight for third is well and truly on. Let's turn our attention to the upcoming Grand Prix. It's an interesting one to see if you keep going with Franco. I think so. The money's definitely there. Bearman coming in at 15 million was quite aggressive, and so I don't think it's probably worth it. If he was still in a Ferrari, definitely. Really tough to know if Ferrari or McLaren or even Red Bull will do well, but this is famously a good track for Red Bull, especially Perez. This could be a key track where they've kept him on board for so long. But Leclerc really loves this track, as I may have said earlier, and so this one there is no advice to be given. It's just it's pick your teams and pray time, I think. And so good luck to everyone, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed. That's it for today's episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Bye. Have a good time.